want you to think about all those mean people. They're going to be your tackling fuel.
Tackling fuel.
Staying with the AFC, we'll move over to the North, where we have the Bengals, Steelers, Ravens, Browns. That is my predicted finish in that order. I think the Browns actually are the most improved team coming into this season. They did lose Brian Hoyer, who now the quarterback of the Texans. He'll fight for playing time actually with Ryan Mallett. But it looks like Johnny Manziel kind of got his life together after going to rehab, and he'll be the starter from here on out. They did have a good amount of losses this season, losing Jordan Cameron, that tight end who had a stellar season last year, as I mentioned. But they do bring in Brian Hartline as well as Dwayne Bowe to replace Cameron, as well as, I guess, Josh Gordon, who will be out for the season and may not play again in the NFL. We'll see how that goes. But they also brought in Josh McCown, who was cut by the Bucs this offseason, so some stability at the quarterback position as well. And Johnny Manziel has some weapons to throw to, and now he has Isaiah Crowell as well as Duke Johnson if he can recover from a concussion, and a solid backfield. That defense, in my opinion, is still the best. Maybe not the best in that division, but certainly a contender at that. So the Browns, I think, are the most improved team. The biggest losses this offseason, however, I think are really against the Baltimore Ravens. They lose their return man, Jacoby Jones, now on the Chargers. They lose Michael Orr, the blindside protector for Joe Flacco. They also lose Torrey Smith and Owen Daniels, as well as Haloti Ngata. So really some holes to fill all the way around, and they didn't have that many key additions, if any, this season. So the Ravens, I think, are looking at some holes, specifically on the offensive side. Again, no Ray Rice. It'll be Justin Forsett from here on out. And Flacco will have to find some guys to throw to besides Steve Smith, who will retire after this season. Haloti Ngata, a big loss on the defense, and it seems like every year this defense slowly but surely is losing big names, but they hang in it. They hang in there. So the Ravens, I think, had the biggest losses. I do think the Bengals still have the best defense. They have a solid offense, which I think will be enough to win the AFC North yet again. And the best offense, though, I think, is in favor of the Steelers. You got Big Ben Roethlisberger, had a stellar season, set career highs in completion percentage and yards last season. You also have Le'Veon Bell. He is suspended for 2 games, but the number one back or production player, for that matter, in fantasy football, had an outstanding year last year, and if he can lay off the dope, he'll finally play a full season. But he'll miss the first 2 games. When he comes back, Big Ben will be thrilled, I'm sure, to have him in the backfield. And then don't forget about Antonio Brown, as well as Martavius Bryant. He is suspended for 4 games, I believe, but Big Ben's got some weapons, and you can't forget about Heath Miller at tight end. So that is certainly the best offense, and it'll be interesting to see what this defense does without Troy Polamalu, as well as defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau. So that's really the thing that I'm caught up on, and the reason why I don't think they're going to win the AFC North, although I think it'll be a close race just like last year. So I do have the Bengals with that killer defense. Andy Dalton's been a solid regular season quarterback, got some weapons, 2-headed monster in the backfield, and I think he'll be able to get it done. The question is, can he win a playoff game? And that remains to be seen. They did bring in A.J. Hawk to strengthen that defense as well, and I don't even know if he'll be the starter. But I have the Bengals winning the division, followed by the Steelers, Ravens, and Browns. This might be the best division in the AFC this season.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.